Hello Aqua friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole and today we are going to do a groundhog. I'm starting off by wetting his body really well with just clean water and using my lightest color. It's either yellow ochre or raw sienna. I'm really becoming more of a raw sienna fan. I'm painting in the lightest areas and notice that it's blending very nicely because our paper is wet. And my next color here is the Vandyke brown or burnt umber. Burnt umber tends to be a more richer brown than the Vandyke brown. So whichever you prefer. If your paper is starting to dry and you're getting really defined lines, just use a damp brush to go over that area, and that just helps to make everything blend together really well. So his face has some neutral tint on it. His head is darker, so I'm putting in those darker colors and then blending it out around his snout, his ear, and his jawline as well. So then we're going to let our paper dry and we're going to come in with our next layer. So I'm wetting the areas that I'm going to work on again. And I'm using some burnt sienna, and I got it mixed with a little bit of burnt umber for a more richer brown. I am using a calligraphy brush and a round brush, kind of alternating between these two. I do like the texture that these fine tip brushes give the animal. And of course, as our paper dries, our brush strokes are more defined. So at this point, this is wet on dry. So I'm not going to do, this is actually a pretty quick painting that I did. I'm not going to put in every little single hair. I just kind of want to blend the colors together with some wet on dry pieces. And getting in those tonal values around his ear. And working on his face and adding in those darker tones. And if things are a little too defined for you, just take a damp brush like I did there. Building up those darker colors around his eye. His cute little nose. So I'm using some sepia with some neutral tint for the darkest parts of the animal. Getting in those very dark eyelid tones. And at this point, I'm using a size 00 or 000 to get in all the eye details. Actually putting in the shadows of his eyelashes with this very fine detail brush. there is always a shadow on the top part of the animal's eye because of the brow bone. And then, of course, all the little whiskers and darker areas of his muzzle. This is where I'm concentrating on putting the most detail, is his face, because that's the main part of the composition that I want people to look at. Notice that I left his body fairly soft with not much defined hairs, but I'm doing a lot on his face. Now with a script liner brush, you could put in all those cute little whiskers and just use a very quick flick of the wrist to get those long strokes. He has a lighter spot on the top of his face, and notice how just pulling up that paint a little bit, how that really increased the contrast, and it makes his face just pop. I just wanted a soft background just in the foreground where he's coming out of his little cubby hole. So that is as much of a background as I'm putting. Using my browns and greens, using shadow green and sap green for little bits of grass here, just to ground them in the photo. It's just a very simple little painting. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and let me know in the comments below if you think the groundhog's going to see a shadow this year. Are we going to have more winter, or are we going to have an early spring? Thanks a lot for watching.